Hello and welcome to another episode of my Boom Studios Mighty Morphin Power Rangers comic book series review. I am Wes, the Average Trainer, and in this episode we're going to focus on issue number 3. So it starts out with Goldar kind of just sitting around in the dark dimension. You can see some chains around his hands, and Squat and Babu are coming to bring him dinner, but he's not really all that interested unless Rita comes and talks to him. It sounds like he's paying some kind of penance for failing during the whole Green with Evil stuff, which we didn't get to see in comic form, obviously, but a really interesting idea that Goldar is so loyal that he's willing to basically self-flagellate himself as a way of, penance for failing Rita. So interesting look at Goldar there. Then it cuts over to Tommy waking up on his couch with his mother sitting nearby. She starts talking to Tommy about how he fainted in front of his friends, but then mentions that his friends are Power Rangers and that she knows that he's a Power Ranger too, which, admittedly shocks Tommy a little bit until, his mom begins pulling her face off, revealing Rita, which is just really all sorts of nightmare fuel, honestly, just to see her pull the face off and it reveals Rita's face and she tears off the skin, and it's kind of gross too. A little bit gross. But then, Tommy suddenly wakes up from this nightmare, clearly a nightmare, in the command center, and with all the Rangers sitting around him trying to see how he is, and they get Tommy water and try to comfort him as best they can, but Tommy's just like, what is going on here? And then it shows Rita sitting on her throne, talking about how Tommy's losing control of his mind, so it seems that there's a connection there that she still has with the Green Ranger powers that allow her to speak to Tommy in some way. I mean, it was a little bit unclear if it was just a hallucination or if it was still Rita, so maybe it's some kind of lingering after effects of her, having had the Green Ranger coin for so much time. Quite possibly. Scorpina apologizes to Rita for failing in getting the Green Ranger power coin. But Rita says, oh, no, that's totally fine because, they got everything that you need to charge the crystal. And then they talk about how they need a dragon dagger, but not just the dragon dagger, but a dragon dagger, meaning that they are going to make their own copy of a dragon dagger. And then something really crazy happens. 2 putties come in carrying half the corpse, the top part of the corpse, the torso of another putty, and dump it on the ground in front of Rita. And then Finster comes in with some kind of molten metally thing and pours it right into the putty's chest cavity and causes a big old beam of light happening, and Rita starts chanting a spell, and this episode is just weird in so many ways. This issue is just weird in so many ways. Just kind of really creepy, but interesting. So anyway, Tommy and Trini are in a medical center in the command center area, and Trini is running some kind of MRI on Tommy and analyzing to see what's wrong, why he keeps passing out and having these hallucinations. And then, interestingly, Trini gets some kind of backstory here because she tries to have some casual conversation with Tommy because, he's admittedly not all that great about being in this medical center and having an MRI and all that. So she talks about her father and, who was a doctor coming from Taiwan, and just interesting backstory on Trini that you've never seen. So I applaud them for adding some extra stuff in there. Suddenly, a thumping noise sounds, and they head outside of the command center, and then they see, whoa, it's the Dragon Zord, and it basically crushes, the area around them and just totally destroys Alpha 5, which, again, horrifying. They morph, and Tommy tries to take control over the Dragon Zord, but it's not working, so Trini calls the Saber-Tooth Tiger Zord and tries to take down the Dragon Zord on her own, but ultimately fails. Tommy gets out the dagger and starts, playing the song, but then the Dragon Zord lunges towards him and is right about to eat him when suddenly Tommy wakes up in the medical center again, which just demonstrates, it's another hallucination. What is going on with this kid? So that's problematic. But there's so many fake outs, and it's kind of interesting to see, but it's also kind of oh man, that was a cool moment. I kind of wanted to see what happened there. So anyway, it cuts over to a diner where Kimberly, Billy, Zach, and Jason are all talking about Tommy. Zach's really having problems with Tommy, really having problems with him. And then he's just thoroughly decided that they shouldn't trust him. Kimberly thinks he's being a bit too harsh, but Jason's kind of on the fence. He's feeling a little bit unsure about the whole thing. Billy suddenly says that he fixed Tommy's communicator, which conveniently beeps, and Trini's contacting him to tell him that, oh no, I found something in his little scans. And when they get back to the command center, Trini explains that his energy readings are significantly skewed way more than their normal readings. It's like power energy exploding off his body and, basically looking like he's an electric man of some sort. Zack thinks that's Rita controlling him, but Kimberly defends him. But Tommy, however, decides to come clean about his Rita hallucinations. Well, I guess going back to what I said before, they're not scanning him because of the hallucinations, but because he passed out. A little bit of an addendum there to what I said before. But anyway, Jason starts getting really annoyed by this when Tommy comes clean about the hallucination. And he's like, dude, what the heck, man? And then, Zach's clearly not having it either. But then the alarm sounds, which says that, oh, hey, the Dragon Zord is under Scorpion's control. And she's moving towards a cruise liner in order to destroy it. And it ends on this really cool shot of the Dragon Zord underwater, kind of with a little ripply effect around it, looking at the cruise liner. And you can tell some bad stuff's about to happen. So overall, like I said, there's some good fake-outs in this issue. It's kind of annoying at times when all these cool moments are complete fake-outs, but it's probably good. That means we're invested in it. And Tommy's really not sure what's real and what's not, but it does make some cool moments. Like the death of Alpha. This is like, whoa, that's kind of jarring. I'm really not sure about the idea of them creating a fake Dragon Dagger to control the Dragon Sword, because I just don't see how they can hijack the connection to the morphing grid that easily just by creating something. And if so, like, why didn't she just create like 20 power coins of her own? I don't know. But regardless, it does make it more difficult for the team when they do not have their primo Dragon Zord available and can't even really... They couldn't even combat it when he was under this evil spell, so having Scorpina in charge of it, that's going to be problematic. So yeah, that's issue number 3. Join me next time for issue number 4, and until next time, stay average. Goodbye.